All right, hello. So today I wanted to do a live video about whether or not to get a steroid injection for treatment of tennis elbow or golfer's elbow. So steroid injections are generally given by orthopedic doctors and occasionally physiatrists. Occasionally your primary care physician might also do these or offer it as a treatment. So a steroid injection is cortisone, and it's a strong anti-inflammatory. When you have it injected locally in one spot, it's supposed to kind of reduce the inflammation in the area and then thereby reducing the pain. But pain is multifactorial, so that doesn't always work for people, and often people will have an increase in their pain. So we'll talk a little bit more about that, but it's used for bursitis, for arthritis, for tendinitis, all of those itises you hear, that inflammation. So cortisone is known to frequently cause side effects and complications, and this is evident in the research. It's not a secret, and so a lot of insurance companies will only cover maybe 1 to 3 shots a year, a calendar year. And, a lot of physicians are aware of the side effects and complications as well, so they won't even offer it as a treatment in a more frequent manner than that. So what are the complications? Well, there are lots. You could look them up. You could do a little Google search. But I think the most pertinent ones to talk about for tennis elbow is that the cortisone actually weakens the tendons and the soft tissue, the connective tissue, over time. So the more shots you get, the weaker the tissue becomes. So if you get one shot, probably not going to make a huge difference in the tendon quality, but if you're getting like 3, 4, 5, 6 injections, which sometimes people do, it does unfortunately weaken the tendon. So they have done studies in various parts of the body, but specifically for tennis elbow or lateral epicondylalgia or epicondylitis, sometimes it's called. And in the short term, the outcomes are fairly good. People often notice, oh, okay, my elbow feels a little bit better. But in the long term, so if you look at these people who got the shots a year or two later, compared to the people who also have tennis elbow but did not get the shots, their symptoms are actually worse. So it can make things harder down the road, which is really unfortunate. But the cortisone also can weaken your immune system, and it can slow wound healing. So if you're having any other problems in your body, unfortunately, the cortisone shot can be kind of, it can be a little bit more systemic than we like to think. For example, I had one patient who got a cortisone shot in one shoulder, and he actually felt a little bit of relief in his other shoulder too. Maybe that was a little bit of neurological crossover, but it was really interesting. So it can weaken your immune system. It can slow wound healing. So I want to talk a little bit about, because sometimes people choose to get the shots even knowing all of this information. So I want to talk a little bit about the spectrum of care. You have conservative treatment on one side, and then you have more invasive, non-conservative treatment on the other side of the spectrum. And on the more conservative side, you have rest and exercise, things that have very, 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 very low or no risk of having any side effects. And then on the other side of the spectrum, you have surgery, right? So a lot higher risk of side effects. People can have really serious things go wrong in surgery. And then somewhere in the middle is injections, steroid injections. And so it's good to remember that it is a spectrum. So for some people, they've tried those more conservative options, and they really did their best, and they feel like they just need something else, and so then they move to the next step, which would be maybe injections or something like that. And then maybe they've tried that and then they move to surgery. So everyone, it's just a decision people have to make. And what I want to basically summarize is that I want to caution people against, jumping straight to injections or straight to surgery, because it really it's not the best option for you. Truly, it's not the best option for you. So it's just a good thing to keep in mind. If you are just getting this diagnosis of tennis elbow kind of recently, do your research and try other things before you agree to getting a shot. That would be my recommendation. But yeah, I would love to hear from you guys and hear your experience. I'm sure there will be comments of some people saying, I got injections, worked great for me, and other people saying, I got injections, it made it worse. So like I said, it's all across the board. But if you have anything you want to share, or if you have questions, let me know. Okay, thank you.